Today, I get to introduce you to one of my favorite people, Amy McNaughton. Amy has had an influence on my life for the past few years. We've been great friends, and she's had a lot of impact just by sharing her beliefs with me. And today, I want to ask her some questions so that she can share more of her beliefs with you. So, Amy, you have a bit of a different view on life in general, don't you?
I absolutely do. Yes.
So, what are some of your beliefs?
Well, there are things that I believe in, so I trust that life unfolds exactly the way it needs to. That life is full of meaning, and it's important to only do what brings you joy.
Tell me a little bit more about what you mean by life unfolds as it needs to.
Well, I'm going to be picky on that one because I trust it unfolds exactly the way it needs to without exception. No matter what's happening in your life, that it needs to happen for you to grow and expand your life, for you to understand something differently. So the good, the bad, and the ugly are actually opportunities for you to really consider your life differently. Instead of bracing against what's there, you actually welcome it because it needs to happen in your life.
Are there any beliefs that you have that people might find surprising when you share them with them?
Absolutely. I believe that health issues are nothing more than information. And when you tap into that information, things change.
Have you always believed that health issues are information?
No. I used to believe in health issues just as much as anyone else.
So did you experience any sickness in your own life?
I did. From the age of 6, I became asthmatic, and the old story that people used to say to me was, you became asthmatic just like that. And I was receiving medications and still taking medications till around 38 or 39. So I was pretty, let's just say I was unhealthy, why I believed that health issues existed.
Are you still asthmatic, or do you have any allergies today?
No, not at all. I'm healthier now than I've ever been in my life.
What happened in your life then that changed the way you believed about health issues?
Where things started to change for me and where I started to consider things differently it was November 2000, and I received a call from my sister, and she had been diagnosed with cancer, and they gave her no more than 3 to 6 months to live. And initially when I heard that, I started to reflect, because she had been visiting me during the summer, and I reflected on things she had said to me and shared with me that were going on in her personal life. And there was something inside of me where I realized there was a direct correlation with what had transpired in her personal life to all of a sudden, and I don't believe in all of a sudden, suddenly she gets diagnosed with cancer. There was something about that just didn't feel right for me. To me, it had to be something to do with what had happened. That thought was like planting a seed. Something was growing and something was going on inside of me that made me start to pay attention differently.
So at what point or how did you actually make a connection that health issues are actually information?
I was sitting at home and I was looking, I don't know what, I was looking for something upstairs, and I found one of my puffers. And I looked at it, and it had expired. And what had shifted and changed was I made a decision that I knew was going to bring me joy, and that I didn't know what it was going to look like. For me, it was having all these health issues when I was working. I'd take a leave of absence. 3 months later, I'm fine. I go back, not going to bring me joy. And they reappear. So I just started to look at things differently, and I couldn't deny it anymore. And then I realized there was a point when I made that connection as to what was going on as a child, because I became asthmatic, severely asthmatic at the age of 6 until I was about 38 or 39. When I made the connection, everything dissipated and disappeared. So there was a lot of anger and frustration and judgment not as a child. As a child, there was fear. However, the adult version of who I am looked back, and I realized I was harvesting a lot of anger and a lot of negativity around an experience. And yet, what I realized was that so-called health issue actually benefited me and allowed me to realize was I had nothing to hold on to. And the minute I made that connection, because the adult woman in me didn't fear like the 6-year-old. I'm not a 6-year-old anymore. Therefore, when you let the past be nothing more than information, your life can transform.
Is there ever a time today when you think that you have those symptoms that other people would call health issues?
I do get symptoms. However, I look at it as information. If the throat is sore, I consider for myself, what am I holding inside, because it's happening inside my body? What am I holding inside that I actually need to give voice to? And usually when I ask myself, I get the answer. And at that moment, the symptoms will disappear. Women are starting to look at their lives differently. Instead of looking outside, oh, I've caught a cold. Well, my perspective is you can't catch someone else's beliefs. What are your own? So you bring everything back to yourself and start exploring the health issue differently. And your world opens up and you become very healthy and happy and excited.
Why is it important for you now to let women know about your beliefs on health issues?
Because I realize I've been sitting here with my beliefs, and until I work with women, then and only then do I share with them that I don't believe in health issues. However, I know there's many women out there that are kind of sitting there going, I don't believe in health issues either, but I don't know what else there is. How do I change the way I look at things? I really believe that women can live a fun, exciting, and fulfilling life free of health issues. I want women to know that they can be the best that they can be, because their lives really matter. And if we're here on the walk on the face of this earth, we're here for a reason. Let's live it healthy.
Well, you've given us a lot to think about today, Amy. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your beliefs with us today.
Well, thank you for taking time to ask these questions that I know I needed to answer on a bigger scale. So thank you for that.